Hi, here I am again. This video should be a little bit shorter. I'm going to take a few minutes to show you how to choose the evidence that you're going to use to support your claim. So if I go back to the claim that I created in the last video, I changed my error here. I changed my "and" to an "a". Remember that my claim is, while pizza is a much loved food that most young people enjoy eating, it should not be included in school lunches because it does not meet the minimum standards for health and reinforces unhealthy eating habits. So right away, I know that I need my evidence to relate to these two ideas right here, that it doesn't meet the minimum standards for health, it reinforces unhealthy eating habits. Those are the two things I'm looking for. I want to avoid just finding evidence that says we shouldn't put pizza in school lunches. That's not evidence, that's an argument. So I have to be really careful there. So if I look at this particular link here, I already have it open. I'll go find it. Here it is. It's actually this one here. The first thing I notice when I get to the top is that it is an opinion piece. All right, it says right here. Hold on. Sorry, accidentally clicked on a link. It says right here, opinion. Okay, so I have to be wary. All of the articles that you read for yours, they're all opinions. But that doesn't mean that they are not, they can't be used as evidence. There's definitely some bias. They have their own set of values that are influencing their opinions. That's true for everything that we read, and that's okay. You just still need to be very careful about the evidence that you're choosing. In some cases, the texts that you're reading are valid opinions. And they're good sources of evidence because the people are writers. They're people who love and study and write literature, and that's a valid perspective and an opinion that you might use for that reason. So I want to find out whose opinion this is. And I already did a little bit of digging on Lauren Brown. She's a writer, but she's not an expert. She doesn't have any kind of background around school lunches. But if I scroll through here, I do notice that she cites people who are experts. This person right here, Miguel Villarreal, overhauled school lunches as a director of food and nutrition services at a particular school district, right? So this is a person with some expertise, with some experience. And so those are the kinds of things I want to look for. If the person writing it is not an expert, that they are referencing people who are. So as I go through here, one of the things that I want to look for are some pieces of evidence that are going to support my thinking. Again, that they're not particularly, they don't meet the health requirements, and that they reinforce unhealthy eating habits. Let's see. What I want to avoid is background information, right? So January 2014, new guidelines regarding the content and healthiness of school lunches, modernized rules. The first major update. This is all background information, okay? This all right here, I pulled up lunch menus from my elementary school, right? Imagine my surprise anticipating new options like da 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 da. I come to find pizza and corn dogs, okay? This is not evidence. This is just a smart person talking about food, right? That's not the same thing as evidence. They don't actually change the types of foods that are offered, just the nutrition content. This means that pizza can still be served. The pizza sauce is considered a vegetable. It has enough whole grains to pass. Again, this is smart people talking. Like, it looks a little bit more like evidence, but it's not actually evidence yet. It's not until I get down here where we talk about this particular person's experience where they say it's all about presentation. For example, don't market a new item as healthy bean soup. It's a Fiesta Bowl. Use focus groups to test healthy food options with students, including word choice for how healthy food is presented. We might just have a lot to learn from students when it comes to positively affecting food choices. Sorry, I got interrupted there for a moment. So we look at that piece of evidence, and then that talks about the importance of presentation, that presentation of food and how we talk about food is what's going to influence kids' healthy eating habits, not the necessarily just including something like pizza. But that's not what I talk about in my claim, right? So if I come back to my claim and I look at my direction, it says it does not meet the minimum standards for health and reinforces unhealthy eating habits. So even though that evidence supports the general idea that pizza should not be served at school, it doesn't actually support this specific claim in this specific direction. So I have two choices here. I can keep reading and find the evidence that does support my claim, or I can change my claim. In this case, I might change does not meet the minimum standards for health and say, because there are other, actually, I would do it this way. I would say because it reinforces unhealthy eating habits, and I still need to find evidence to support that. And there are other ways to engage kids in healthy eating. All right, I'll let you see that whole thing there. Right, so that's always an option. If you're going through and you find your evidence and you go back and compare it to your claim, ask yourself, is this really what my claim says? And you can move it to the side, go find another piece of evidence that you know supports it, that you want to talk about, or change your claim. All right, that's all. Let me know what questions you have.